Ciri is the protagonist of The Witcher 4. Astro Bot takes home Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and Jeff Keighley has his pants fully pulled down. All of this in today's gaming news. Hello everyone, it's 4:30 a.m. Not at the time of release, but it's right now.
It's 4:27. Let's not let's not exaggerate now.
Sorry, that third headline was a lie, by the way. We will get to the real headline shortly, but the Game Awards have literally just happened.
Yes.
We have reacted to them. This sentence, weirdly, has got me completely out of breath. I think because I'm just very tired.
We are talking about some of the stuff that happened.
Just a few things.
There was quite a lot that happened. In some ways, but also in the typical Game Awards fashion, there's a lot of
guff.
Like a lot of stuff
Keighley
happened that was exciting, and a lot of guff happened that was
It started quite high, and then we got quite low. Speaking of starting, the very first announcement.
Yeah.
The Witcher 4. We got a little CG trailer in engine. But still a CG trailer.
Yeah,
indeed.
Of The Witcher 4.
It was a lengthy one as well. It was about 6 minutes long. It showed a fair bit of combat, as you say, CG. It wasn't actual gameplay, but we saw some combat there. We saw some interpersonal relationships and some conflict and some murder of young person / possible child ? Young person,
young woman.
Yeah.
I quite like this because the protagonist is Ciri. Of who we know from the other Witchers.
Yeah, The Witcher 3.
The Witcher 3, and I like that she's a more emotional Witcher. Witchers are kind of like, they do what they're told, they get their money, they do the job, and then they go.
Kill the thing, take
But she's very much like, you're sacrificing a woman. That doesn't really fly with me. I'm going to save that woman. And she's much more emotional, and emotionals are like a derogatory to women. She's much more passionate than I think maybe.
She's more human.
Yes.
Or compassionate
exactly.
even.
Compassionate, exactly. Yes, it's interesting to see for sure. It's definitely an older Ciri than we saw in The Witcher 3. There appears to be some voiceover from Geralt as well at some point in the trailer.
Which we knew he was going to be in it.
Yes, but
in some form.
We don't know how he's going to be in it and where he's going to be in his life at this point. But certainly, it definitely reaffirmed how dark the world of The Witcher is in terms of the fact that this village was apparently happy to just sacrifice this young woman to appease the monster that lives in the cave. Ciri's like, nah! Goes in there, fights the monster, comes out, they've killed the woman anyway. Because they didn't like the fact that someone, I think maybe it's implied that the dad went behind their back and paid a Witcher to go and kill the monster so they wouldn't be sacrificed to the monster.
Well, that's what they think, but...
Well, we don't know. Anyway, it paints a grim picture. The real headline, though, is the fact that there is no release date for this, and it's a CG trailer, and that was a theme of the night.
Yes.
That we didn't really get many specific release dates for these games.
Indeed. I mean, it's probably no big surprise given that CD Projekt Red, am I right in thinking they're currently working on a Witcher 3 remaster anyway, or something. They're doing something with The Witcher 3 at the same time. Citation needed. Am I right in thinking that?
I'm not sure.
They are, I think.
I think they are. Maybe not. I'm sure they're doing something with The Witcher. I can Google that now while we do the news.
No,
I won't own it. Because if I'm wrong...
I'm wrong.
He's got to
I'll be told.
check.
We saw a lot of CG trailers tonight with no release date. General years. We did not even get a year for this. This is very much like a typical CD Projekt Red.
This is a real CD Projekt
coming at
Red
some
move.
point. They
too early
have
to
not
be showing
learned
this
from their previous mistakes. But it's a single-player game. We saw some CG in Unreal Engine 5. And look, it's a Witcher game. People will love it.
Yeah.
So we will see how
I'm sure it will be fantastic. And I'm excited to play as Ciri as well. I think that's really cool. Geralt is so beloved. And there was some scuttlebutt, obviously, that maybe you could make your own Witcher. But I think the second best thing is Ciri. I don't know how most Witcher players feel about Ciri, but I thought Ciri was pretty cool. And you do get to play as Ciri in sections of The Witcher 3. So I'm excited to play a game as
They're calling it the most immersive and ambitious open world Witcher game to date. And it's the start of a new saga, taking on the role of Ciri, a professional monster slayer, and embark on a journey through a brutal, dark fantasy world is their own blurb.
There's an article here saying The Witcher 3 fully overhauled next-gen remaster launching this year that was written in June 2024. So that may
They did
have
release
happened.
a next-gen version, but I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
see, that's what's
overhauled.
confusing me now. I don't know. Anyway,
Anyway,
they're probably
regardless,
quite busy, whatever's happening.
They're doing the sequel to Cyberpunk as well, so
Yeah,
there's all
wow.
that. What happened next, Ashton?
Well, it didn't happen next. It happened a while
What's
after.
happening next?
What's happening next? Astro Bot won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're all very excited because we did not think it was going to happen. We kind of all forgot the jury vote was quite a significant portion of the kind of winning requirements. And yes, they walked away with it. And Team Asobi, we love them. We love what they did with Astro Bot, and we are very, very happy for them.
Yeah, it was a lovely speech as well that the guy gave.
It was.
I've forgotten his name, but the head of Team Asobi.
Nicholas Duchette.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, he did a lovely speech.
Or Duquette.
Probably
Duquette, right?
Ducey.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yes, it was lovely because we were sort of under the impression that maybe Black Myth would win purely by virtue of popularity
Public
contest.
vote, yeah. They did win the public vote in terms of like People's Choice Awards. So yeah.
But with a big jury, as you said, the big critics' choice having a say in here. That Astro Bot won, and that's really lovely. They won quite a few awards, didn't they?
They did. I also liked the speech before the award from Baldur's Gate 3 director Sven Vinker, or Vink, who talked about, he basically just described exactly the kind of thing that we would like to see more of in terms of business practice from kind of more from the publisher end of things perhaps rather than the developer end, and talking about making games for the sake of it in terms of something that you enjoy and that you love and that you like the idea of, and you find a game that you want to play that hasn't been made before, and that's what people should be pouring their passion into, and that's how you get good games, and that's how you get the revenue that follows on from that naturally rather than forcing it through various slightly seedy means that we do seem to see so often. So that was nice to see in a room full of industry bigwigs, to have them almost be a little bit lectured perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, the Team Asobi guys also pay tribute to Nintendo without saying as much in terms of their inspiration to a wonderful platformer like Astro Bot. They also won Best Family Game, Best Game Direction, and then we had like a lot of the like best the Game of the Year nominees won a lot of other ones, so it was kind of like a bit up in the air who's going to win. We had like Metaphor ReFantazio won Best Narrative and Best Art Direction and Best RPG, and Balatro won Best Indie and Best Debut Indie. Like, we had, I think, a good mix of winners. It wasn't like a bit like Baldur's Gate 3 that won.
Yeah, no one stole the show
single
completely.
thing.
Yeah.
But we love Astro Bot quite outwardly, and we are very glad that they have done so well during this show, because it just goes to show that we don't always want a massive, huge 60-hour open world RPG. Sometimes we just like a little guy that jumps across platforms and has a good time.
Yeah, it was a very pleasant surprise given the competition it was up against, and again, the fact that we thought the public vote would play a much larger role, especially considering it was exclusive, and we know that it sold between 1 and 2 million units, which for an exclusive, is fine. But when put up against multi-platform stuff that perhaps is a bigger name, we didn't really think it had much of a chance. But absolutely, this is so lovely to see, and all of those nominees were very deserving anyway, apart from Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree,
which was a DLC.
which could have won, and that would have been quite a shame.
It would have
quite
been.
a shame, quite frankly.
Yeah.
There was a one more thing, wasn't there?
There was. Well, this was not the one more thing.
Was it not?
Oh, yes, it was.
I think it was.
yeah.
Yeah, it didn't come after the final award. It came before that, but it was
That's
the one
true,
more
yes,
thing.
you're
Yeah,
right.
which was that Naughty Dog have announced their new IP, and it's in space.
Space!
And its name is Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. Not sure how I feel about that title. And we also don't really know how we feel about what we actually saw of the game, do we? It didn't look bad, but it was a bit of a question mark. Just a teaser, really, wasn't it? A taster of, you got a sense of the world that they're trying to portray. And one of the things that came across to me anyway was that it was a bit kind of retro-futurist. It was a bit chunky and analog and 80s, which I quite liked, but we don't really know much else. And there was some sword play, which was a bit...
Yeah, it was a
pulled
CG
out.
trailer, and then right at the end, she pulled out a sword to fight a robot alien man.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, it's Naughty Dog, so it's probably going to be really good. But
Yeah.
that first look, I don't know how I felt about it.
No. It didn't scream Naughty Dog. You wouldn't have, I don't think you would have known it was Naughty Dog if
No.
it had not said.
Guardians of the Galaxy is very popular for a reason, obviously, but so many different properties across all media forms have tried to ape that style.
Well, Concord did, let's face it.
Exactly, and as soon as she put, was it Pet Shop Boys or something on the CD changer, I was like, oh man, I'm like, it's okay, there's room for this to be done, but I'm like,
It's a shame though,
immediately,
because like it is
you're setting
great.
yourself up for comparisons,
Yeah.
and I don't, we know very little about this or how it's going to play, but it's nice to see them doing something new, obviously, that's lovely,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I definitely need to see more of this before I
Yeah.
get excited.
We got no release window again, which is very much the theme of the evening. But according to the director, Neil Druckmann, he said Intergalactic stars our newest protagonist, Jordan A. Munn, a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. So we're seeing a very much derelict planet. We've got kind of like mech sort of enemies by the looks of things from the brief glimpse we got at them. She's very cool, the main character. And we've got a very good team behind the like audio design and soundtrack. So maybe we'll see another like banger from Naughty Dog. It's like you say, it's very out of Naughty Dog's remit in terms of like, what they're good at, what we know they're good at.
But it's early days, I guess, at the moment. You know, it is difficult to convey everything that you might call Naughty Dog-esque in a short teaser like that. Like, I think one thing that was missing a little bit for me was just a kind of sense of heart to it. Like, certainly something like Uncharted, you know, is full of quite like charming relationships and things like that. And then even something as grim as The Last of Us, you have the relationship of Joel and Ellie, and that kind of warms you even in the darkest points of the game. Whereas this just looked a little bit cold as it was presented, but you know, there wasn't really an opportunity to show those kind of relationships in that moment. So, you know, something like that.
As soon as we get some gameplay and we see a big stupid set piece,
Yeah, exactly.
I think we'll know,
Yeah.
right, okay, that's a Naughty Dog game. And then
People
we'll know the
quipping with
kind of
each
thing
other and-
that we're in for.
yeah.
If they're making something totally different and it's an action RPG or something, I don't know that I necessarily want that from Naughty Dog.
Yeah,
but,
stick with what you're good at.
but we'll
And we also
see.
know it's got Kunal Nanjiani
Yes,
in it,
he was
in
shown
terms of, he
prominently
was like
on one of the screens.
missing. That's who she was looking for. Was her
Target,
partner,
her bounty.
target,
whatever.
her bounty, something. But yeah, we'll see what comes of this. We've got no release date, which again is pretty common.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about this on the podcast this weekend.
We will.
But yeah, those are the kind of the three big stories from this Game Awards. We'll talk more about it on Saturday, so come along to TripleJump Pods.
Yeah, we'll go through everything, won't we?
Yeah.
Yes,
In the
we
podcast,
certainly
yeah.
will. And stay tuned to our social medias for daily gaming news that gets posted there. We will see you all on Monday for the news. But yes, do come check out the podcast where we will talk about all the other things that were shown at Jeffrey's
We've
Big
had more
Jamboree.
sleep and we're more coherent.
Only a little bit more sleep
Only a
though.
little.
We're going to go to bed, come back, do it, go home and go to bed again.
Yes.
In the meantime, give us your thoughts down below.
Yeah, let us know. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.